I just trusted God in that moment, and I stepped into the water and I got water baptized, and I can't describe the feeling that I felt when I came out of the water. For some reason, when I came out, I felt like all that I dealt with in my childhood, all that I experienced in my life was finally let go. And I finally, in myself, felt free that this is really going to change who I am. My name's Joey Romero. I was born and raised in Roswell, New Mexico. My mom got pregnant and had me at 17. I met my dad once when I was 5. We never really had a relationship. When I was 2 months old, after my mom had me, she actually got arrested, and they ended up contacting my grandparents, and they took me in at 2 months and raised me ever since. Growing up, I had a lot of resentment and anger towards my mom. I always thought, well, you always said you were going to be there. You always said you were going to love me, and that never happened. All you do is lie to me. All you do is hurt me. And that hate turned into anger. And going into my senior year, I kind of had a really big falling out with my mom. The last convo we had at that time was I told her I hated her. I wanted nothing to do with her, for her to leave our family. You know, we didn't really talk again after that. Really, the whole time I was living my life that way, I was still going to Legacy Church, but I wasn't really, I would say, attending church. I was just sitting in church. And I remember one day there was a specific sermon that Pastor Steve was preaching, and he was talking about being a hypocrite. And he was talking and he said, when are you gonna stop pretending? When are you gonna really go all in? And kind of sat there, and I was thinking to myself, I need to quit pretending. I need to actually quit holding back from God and go all in with Him. One of the biggest things that started appearing to me was the anger I had towards my mom. I felt like God was really showing and telling me, in order for me to work in your life and in order for me to change you, you have to forgive her. My mom called me one day, and the second I say hello, she says hi, and I just start break down crying. And I tell her, you know, Mom, I'm sorry for having so much anger towards you. I'm sorry for having so much hatred towards you. We told each other we loved each other, that we forgive each other, and our relationship from there was actually completely restored. And a little bit after that, it was Easter at Legacy in 2021. And I'm sitting there in Easter service, and Pastor Steve's preaching, and he's talking about water baptism. And I was standing there in that moment thinking, well, I've never been water baptized, but I don't think I need to get water baptized. And when I was standing there going back and forth with myself why I shouldn't get baptized, I got the thought, this is your problem. You're always holding back. And it hit me so hard in that moment. That was always my biggest issue. I was always holding back from God. I was always not giving Him every area of my life. And I remember thinking, I don't know if this is something I want to do or if I should do. I just trusted God in that moment, and I stepped into the water and I got water baptized, and I can't describe the feeling that I felt when I came out of the water. For some reason, when I came out, I felt like all that I dealt with in my childhood, all that I experienced in my life was finally let go. And I finally, in myself, felt free that this is really going to change who I am. Ever since that moment of forgiving my mom and getting water baptized, I would say, you know, I've been beyond blessed that I can even comprehend and I can even say. I've met my beautiful wife, and we've gotten married. I actually got the opportunity to start working at Legacy Church. And, you know, all I could say is, if you're wondering, will my life ever change? If you're wondering, why should I get water baptized? If you're wondering, why should I even trust God in the first place? Again, I was there too. And because I decided to trust God, He was able to change me. He was able to change my life. He was able to opened doors for me of where I'm at now that I know wouldn't have been possible if I kept holding back. So I could only encourage you to take that step, trust God, and just go forward with it and see what He can do and how He can really change your life.